Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8. Yesterday we finished chapter 15. We heard how Bali Maharaj, he attacked Indrapuri, and Indra consulted with Brahaspati, and Brahaspati told him, for now it's better you all go into hiding. All the demigods, you all leave your palaces, go in disguise, go into hiding, and wait for a time where Bali will lose his strength. Uh, Brihaspati also said that right now Bali is too strong and that only the Supreme Lord can win him. Nobody else could win him. So we're gonna uh, begin with chapter 16 today, entitled Executing the Payo-vrata Process of Worship. We read the short summary by Srila Prabhupada. As described in this chapter, because Aditi, the mother of the demigods, was very afflicted, her husband Kashyap Muni told her how to observe vows and austerities for the benefit of her sons. Since the demigods were not visible in the heavenly kingdom, their mother Aditi, because of separation from them, was very much aggrieved. One day, after many, many years, the great sage Kashyap emerged from a trance of meditation and returned to his ashram. He saw that the ashram was no longer beautiful and that his wife was very morose. Everywhere in the ashram he saw signs of lamentation. The great sage therefore inquired from his wife about the well-being of the ashram and asked her why she looked so morose. After Aditi informed Kashyap Muni about the ashram's well-being, she told him that she was lamenting for the absence of her sons. She then requested him to tell her how her sons could return and reoccupy their positions. She wanted all good fortune for her sons. Moved by Aditi's request, Kashyap Muni instructed her in the philosophy of self-realization, the difference between matter and spirit, and how to be unaffected by material laws. But when he saw that Aditi was not satisfied, even after he had given these instructions, he advised her to worship Vasudev, Janardana. He assured her that only Lord Vasudev could satisfy her and fulfill all her desires. When Aditi then expressed her desire to worship Lord Vasudev, Prajapati Kashyap told her about a process of worship known as Payo-vrata, which is executed in 12 days. Lord Brahma had instructed him how to satisfy Lord Krishna by this process, and thus he advised his wife to observe this vow and its regulative principles. So we'll read now text-wise. Text 1, Shishukuvacha,
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Evam putreshu nashteshu,
Evam Putreshu Dashteshu
Deva mata dityastada,
Deva Mata Didistada
Rite trivishtape daitye,
Ritedi Vipashte Daitye
Paryatapayat anathavat.
Paryattapayat Anathavat.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sukadev Goswami said, O king, when Aditi's sons, the demigods, had thus disappeared from heaven and the demons had occupied their places, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector. because it's natural for a mother to lament for her children. Her sons had to flee their houses, they had to leave the heaven, they had to disguise themselves. She had not seen them, she doesn't know where they are. So she's very sad. Ekada kashyapastasya
एकदा कश्यपस्तस्या
कश्यपस्तस्य
ashramam bhagavan agat
आश्रमं भगवान्
भगवान्
अगात्
nirutsavam niranandam
निरुत्सवं
निरुत्सवं
निरानन्दम्
निरन्तरम्
samadher virataschirat.
समाधि
समाधिर्विहतश्चिरात्.
After many, many days, the great powerful sage Kashyap Muni arose from a trance of meditation and returned home to see the ashram of Aditi neither jubilant nor festive. Sapatnim Dina Vadanam
सपत्नीं दीनवन्दनाम्
सपत्नाम्
Kritasana Parigraha
कृतासनः परिग्रहः
कृतासनपरिग्रहः
Sabhajito Yathanyayam
सभाजितो
सभाजितो
यथा
यथा
न्यायम्
न्यायम्
Idam Aha Kurudvaha.
इदम् आह कुरुद्वः.
कुरुद्वः
O best of the Kurus, when Kashyap Muni had been properly received and welcomed, he took his seat and then spoke as follows to his wife Aditi, who was very morose. So she's, of course, welcomed him home, but she's very sad. Api abhadram na vipranam
अपि
अपि
अभद्रं न
अभद्रं न
विप्राणाम्
विप्राणाम्
bhadre loke dunagatam
भद्रे
भद्रे
लोके गुणागतम्
na dharmasya na lokasya
न धर्मस्य न
लोकस्य
लोकस्य
mrityoscha chandanuvartinaha.
मृत्योश्चन्द्रनुवर्तिनः.
मृत्योश्चन्दानुवर्तिनः
O most gentle one, I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regard to religious principles, the Brahmanas, or the people in general who are subject to the whims of death. There are prescribed duties for all the inhabitants of this material world, especially for the Brahmanas, but also for the people in general who are subject to the whims of death. Kashyap Muni wondered whether the regulative principles, which are meant for the well being of everyone, had been disobeyed. He accordingly continued his inquiries for 7 verses. So Kashyap Muni is concerned that why this whole atmosphere is so depressed. He's asking what has happened. Is everyone following the regulative principles? What's happening? These principles are for the well being of everyone, not for any purpose of imposing, but is for the well being. Api vakushalam kinchit
अपि वा कुशलं किञ्चित्
graheshu grahamedhini
ग्रहेषु गृहमेधिनी
dharmasyarthasya kamasya
धर्मस्य अर्थस्य कामस्य
yatra yogo hi ayoginam.
यत्र योग ह्ययोगिनाम्.
Oh, my wife, who are very much attached to household life, if the principles of religion, economic development, and satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in household life, one's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. I wonder whether there have been any discrepancies in following these principles. In this verse, Aditi has been addressed by her husband, Kashyap Muni, as Griha Medhini, which means one who is satisfied in household life for sense gratification. So, Graha Medhi. one who's attached to home and sense gratification. That is Gramedi. Generally, those who are in household life pursue sense gratification in the field of activities performed for material results. Such Grahamedis have only one aim in life, sense gratification. Therefore, it is said, Yan Maithonadi Grahamedi Sukhamihi Tucham. The householder's life is based on sense gratification, and therefore the happiness derived from it is very meager. So we can see in Kali Yuga, practically all of us are in this category, Grahamedi. Very few will be in the category of Grahast. So nonetheless, the Vedic process is so comprehensive that even in householder life, one can adjust his activities according to the regulative principles of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So that is, yes, sense gratification, but following the rules and regulations, not unrestricted. Having sense gratification by following rules and regulations. Then one can gradually proceed towards liberation. So one's aim should be to achieve liberation, but because one cannot at once give up sense gratification, in the Shastras there are injunctions prescribing how to follow the principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification. As explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 129, Dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho arthayo pakalpate. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. So any activity one does should be for uh, not to continue the existence in the material world, but to get out of the material world. Those who are in household life should not think that religion is meant to improve the process of the householder's sense gratification. Household life is also meant for advancement in spiritual understanding, by which one can ultimately gain liberation from the material clutches. So one may think, okay, well, I'm in household life, so what I must do is unrestricted sense gratification, because sense gratification is needed. So, but the idea is engage in sense gratification by following the rules and regulations. And in this way, gradually, there will be a purification of the heart. There will be some kind of detachment from the material world. There will be some kind of detachment from sense gratification. And then gradually one's consciousness will be more and more purified, and one will want to get out of this material world. One should remain in household life with the aim of understanding the ultimate goal of life, Tattva Jigyasa. Then household life is as good as the life of a yogi. So Tattva Jigyasa. So the aim of human life, Lord Chaitanya explains us, Prema Pamartho Maha. Prema, there's Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, right? So the four arthas. Now the fifth, the highest, is love of God, prema, love for Krishna. Kashyap Muni therefore inquired from his wife whether the principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification were being properly followed in terms of the Shastric injunctions. As soon as one deviates from the injunctions of the Shastra, the purpose of household life is immediately lost in confusion. Any comments? Hey,
So they're telling the
Abhi,
importance of the grahastha, right? What we have read
yeah,
before, like how we should be situated in grahastha life and not graha, maybe. We should try to be. Though we are, but
that's
still we should try, right?
that's right. Yes, You should follow the rules and regulations. That is what is needed
Hmm.
to have gradual clearing of our
Elevation.
consciousness.
Hmm.
And in this way, as each and every one of us, our consciousness gets purified, automatically then society at large is going to become peaceful. Humanity will become more peaceful. Yeah.
Okay.
Ap, api vatithayo bhetya
Api
Apivati
bhatityo bhatitya
Vidya
kutumba saktaya tvaya
kutum
Kutumbasakaya
asaktaya tvaya
Tvaya
grahad apujita yata
grahat
Grihad
apujitayataha
Apujitayataha
pratyuthanena vakvachit.
pratyuthanena
Pratyuttanena
vakvachit.
Vakvachit
I wonder whether because of being too attached to the members of your family, you fail to properly receive uninvited guests, who therefore were not welcomed and went away. It is the duty of a householder to receive guests, even if a guest be an enemy. When a guest comes to one's home, one should properly receive him by standing up and offering him a seat. So, welcoming, to welcome the guest. So, if it is enjoined, Grihe Shatrum Api Praptam Vishwastam Akuto Bhayam. If even an enemy comes to one's home, one should receive him in such a way that the guest will forget that his host is an enemy. So, this is the etiquette. That somebody is an enemy, they're coming to our house, we should still welcome them, give them proper respect. According to one's position, one should properly receive anyone who comes to one's home. At least a seat and a glass of water should be offered so that the guest will not be displeased. So according to whatever one's capacity is, one receives the guest in that way. One has a lot of opulence, one can receive the guest opulently. One has no opulence, one can receive the guest simply by speaking to them nice, kind words, offering them a place to sit, some water. Kashyap Muni inquired from Aditi whether disrespect had been shown to such guests or atithis. The word atithi refers to one who comes without an invitation. So atithi means who?
Who comes without any invitation?
Yeah, like we didn't call them up and arrange for them to come to our house. They just walked in. They just came by themselves.
In the previous
Grahesh.
time, I still remember, like during when we were young, like I didn't had to call most of the relatives, and we would just show, and they would also just show at our house uninvited, in the sense like they didn't have to call us and ask that are you at home, should I come or not. So like they would just show.
That's true. Even we, same here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they were really welcomed very nicely, and we were also welcomed at our relatives house very, very, with so much love and compassion and everything. So I'm just trying to send today, even if I have to go to my most closest relative, I will still make sure that I call them and I let them know that, I'm coming and are you home? Because the time has changed and people are more involved in things. And at the like previously, like I still remember my nani house when I used to go. So पता था कि और कोई भी नहीं होगा तो नानी तो होगी ही घर में, वो कहाँ जाएगी, you know? So the
Yeah.
situation was like that the elders would be definitely there, कोई और हो चाहे ना हो. So you don't have to call and ask and just go. But now we don't know because elders are also not there now in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Making
is the
nuclear
change.
families, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nuclear families. Yes, yes. So that is the change. So at least we always call and make sure that somebody's there before we go. So yeah, that's the change. And how beautifully Kashyap Muni is saying that, like he's so much worried seeing the situation that what happened, like, did you unwelcome somebody? So like it's such an important thing. The point that you said that even the enemy should be welcomed in such a loving way that he forgets that, oh my God, that's really nice point.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely point. Yeah.
Graheshu yeshav atithayo
गृहेषु येषु अतिथयो
narchita salilerapi
नार्चिता सलिलेरपि
yadi niryanti te nunam
यदि निर्यान्ति ते नूनां नं
feru raja grahopama.
रेरुराजगृहोपमा.
Homes from which guests go away without having been received, even with an offering of a little water, are like those holes in the field, which are the homes of jackals. In a field, there may be holes made by snakes and mice, but when they are very big holes, it may be supposed that jackals live there. Certainly, no one goes to take shelter in such homes. Thus, the homes of human beings where atithis, uninvited guests, are not properly received, are like the homes of jackals. So, Kashyap Muni is saying, that if we don't invite any guests, if we don't receive any guests properly, then that is as good as that means we are a jackal. That our home is the home of a jackal, and then we become the jackal, right? Api agnayastu velayam
अपि अग्नस्य तु वेलायां
na huta havisha sate
न हुताविश्वासति
payodvigna dhiya bhadre
त्वयोद्विग्नधिया भद्रे
proshite mai kar hichet.
प्रोषिते मयि करहिचित्.
O chaste and auspicious woman, when I left home for other places, were you in so much anxiety that you did not offer oblations of ghee into the fire? Before, they would always have that fire burning, and then they would keep offering ghee. So he's saying that, did you not do that? You were so sad. Yad pujaya kama dugan
यत्पूजया कामदुगान्
yati lokan grahan vitaha
याति लोकान् गृहान्वितः.
brahmanognischa ve vishnu
ब्राह्मणो निश्च वै विष्णु
sarva devatmano mukham.
सर्वदेवात्मनो मुखम्.
By worshipping the fire and the brahmanas, a householder can achieve the desired goal of residing in the higher planets. For the sacrificial fire and the brahmanas are to be considered the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who is the supersoul of all the demigods. According to the Vedic system, a fire sacrifice is held in order to offer oblations of ghee, grains, fruits, flowers, and so on, so that Lord Vishnu may eat and be satisfied. So the yajna, the fire in the yajna, that is the mouth of Lord Vishnu. And then we are offering into the fire, right? Offering different items. So that is offering to Lord Vishnu. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yo me bhaktya prayachate, Tad aham bhakti uparatam, Ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Therefore, all these items may be offered in the sacrificial fire, and Lord Vishnu will be satisfied. So the yajna is for satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. Similarly, Brahmana Bhojan, feeding of the Brahmanas, is also recommended, for when the Brahmanas eat sumptuous remnants of food after yajna, this is another way that Lord Vishnu himself eats. So, after we do some puja, some ceremony, then the Brahmanas are fed, because Lord Vishnu is also eating through the mouth of the Brahmanas. So, also in the yajna, and also after the yajna, offering to the Brahmanas. So, what is the yajna recommended for this age of Kali?
Harinam Sankirtan.
Yeah, Harinam Sankirtan. That is what is recommended. And distribution of prasad. So, therefore, the Vedic principles recommend that in every festival or ceremony, one offer oblations to the fire and give sumptuous food for the Brahmanas to eat. By such activities, a householder may be elevated to the heavenly planets and similar places in the higher planetary systems. So, these are like pious activities to get good karma by which one can go and live in the heavenly planets, to the heavens. Api sarve kushalinas
Api sarve kushalinas.
tava putra manasvini
Tava putra manasvini.
lakshaye swastam atmanam
Lakshaye swastam atmanam.
bhavatya lakshaner aham.
Bhavaktya lakshanir aham.
O great-minded lady, are all your sons faring well? Seeing your withered face, I can perceive that your mind is not tranquil. How is this so? When we are disturbed, then our face also shows it, right? We may think we are hiding it very well, but once when you're very, very disturbed, some not at peace, then the face also shows it. So here Kashyap Muni is telling Aditi that, you look very troubled. What's happening? Are your sons okay? Because he understands that that is a great concern for a mother, the well-being of her children. Shri Aditi Ruvacha
Shri Aditir Uvacha.
Bhadram Dvija Gavam Brahman
Patram Dvija Gavam Brahman.
Dharmasyasya Janasya Cha
Dharmasyasya janasya cha.
Trivargasya Param Kshetram
Trivargasya param kshetram.
Graha Medin Graha Ime.
Graha medin graha ime.
Aditi said, "O my respected Brahmana husband, all is well with the Brahmanas, the cows, religion, and the welfare of other people. O master of the house, the three principles of Dharma, Artha, and Kama flourish in household life, which is consequently full of good fortune. In household life, one can develop the three principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification according to the regulations given in the Shastras. But to attain liberation, one must give up household life and place himself in the transcendental renounced order." So, household life, uh, the principles of religion. So do pious activity, do pious deeds. Why? To get more opulent, to get more means. Means for what? For sense enjoyment. So, like this, one can engage in sense enjoyment by following the principles, having a pious life, life of piety. And then, of course, then one has to gradually, from sense gratification, move on to liberation. So, of course, in Kali Yuga, one does not need to leave the house. We just simply take up more hearing, more chanting, can remain where we are and just engage more in devotional service. You know, read more from the books, hear like more lectures, chant the rounds, if possible, chant more, or try to improve the quality of chanting, serve the deity. So Kashyap Muni was not in the renounced order of life. Therefore, he is addressed here once as Brahman and another time as Grahamedhin. Aditi, his wife, assured him that as far as household life was concerned, everything was going nicely, and the brahmanas and cows were being honored and protected. In other words, there were no disturbances. Household life was duly progressing. So she's telling him everything's okay. We are doing all what is to be done. The brahmanas are taken care of. The cows are being taken care of. Everyone is getting proper respect, proper care, whatever is needed. So that's what she's saying, that household life is going on well. Agnayo tithayo britya
Agnayo tithayo britya
bhikshavo ye cha lipsavaha
bhikshavo ye cha lipsavaha
sarvam bhagavato brahman
sarvam bhagavato brahman
anudhya narishyate.
anudhyanan narishyati.
O beloved husband, the fires, guests, servants, and beggars are all being properly cared for by me. Because I always think of you, there is no possibility that any of the religious principles will be neglected. Because he asked her, that did you miss me so much that you were not doing the duties that need to be done? So she's like, no, I'm doing everything. You know, I'm remembering you for your pleasure also. I'm following all the religious principles. I'm taking care of whoever that I need to take care of. So I'm doing my duties. Konu me bhagavan kamo
Ko no me bhagavan kamo
na sampadita manasa
na sampatyeta manasa
yasya bhavan prajadyaksha
yasya bhavan prajadyaksha
evam dharman prabhashate.
evam dharman prabhashyate.
O my Lord, since you are a Prajapati and are personally my instructor in the principles of religion, where is the possibility that all my desires will not be fulfilled? So she's saying that you are upholding religious principles, you're making sure religious principles are being followed, you personally are following the religious principles. And so when one follows religious principles, then because one becomes pious, then one will have more comforts. Yeah. Any comments, questions? Okay. तवेव मारी चमन शरीर जहाँ
रवे वमारे च मन शरीरजाः
Praja ima sattvarajastamo
प्रजा इमा सत्वरजस्तमोजुषः
Samo bhavamstasva asura prabho
समो भवांस्तास्व असुरादिषु प्रभो
Tathapi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaraha.
तथापि भक्तं भजते महेश्वरः
O son of Marichi, because you are a great personality, you are equal toward all the demons and demigods who are born either from your body or from your mind and who possess one or another of the three qualities, sattvagun, rajagun, or tamogun. But although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, is equal toward all living entities, he is especially favorable to the devotees. In Bhagavad Gita 9:29, the Lord says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priha ye bhajante tu mam bhaktya maite teshu japi aham. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal toward everyone, he is especially inclined toward those who engage in devotional service. So, Krishna, he is equal to everyone. Everyone is his children, but he still favors the devotees. The Lord says, Kaunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashyati. My dear son of Kunti, please declare that my devotee will never be vanquished. And we can see that in the case of churning of the ocean. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, please declare my devotee will never be vanquished. But here in Bhagavatam, we are seeing it, how Krishna is personally protecting, coming as different incarnations, and he's protecting his devotees. Elsewhere, Krishna also says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajami aham mama varta anuvartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Bhagavad Gita 4.11. Actually, everyone is trying to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead in various ways. But according to their methods of approach, the Supreme Lord endows them with different benedictions. Somebody, because everything and everyone is coming from Krishna. So one may be wanting to enjoy the material energy. One is trying to worship the material energy. That also is indirect worship of Krishna because material energy is also controlled by Krishna. Or somebody is meditating on the Brahman. So indirectly also meditating on Krishna. Brahman is coming from Krishna. Somebody is meditating on Super Soul, Paramatma. Paramatma also expansion of Krishna. And one who is a pure devotee, he is engaged in loving devotional service to Krishna. So Krishna is blessing everyone. Thus, Aditi appealed to her husband by saying that since even the Supreme Controller favors his devotees, and since Indra, Kashyap's devoted son, was in difficulty, Kashyap should bestow his favor upon Indra. So, because even the demons are coming from Kashyap Muni, right? From Diti. So she's telling him, like how Krishna is saying, okay, all are my children, demons and devotees, but he specially favors the devotees. So now Indra, your son, is in trouble. So she wants him to help Indra. Because otherwise Kashyap Muni will say, oh, well, even the demons are my, like, what do you say, coming in my family lineage. Both are my family. Both are my children. But she's appealing to Kashyap Muni in this way, saying that Krishna also favors, gives special attention to his devotees. Is that okay?
And yeah, and Kashyap Muni's son, Kashyap Muni's father is Marichi, is it? So,
Marichi, that's what we just read here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, because Kashyap Muni's wife, he has two wives, right? Aditi and Diti.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has more though, because
Oh.
he
Yeah,
marries
yeah. Mm.
and
But like
things
Diti, then it's the demons, right? The
demons.
demons
Yeah,
come from Diti. Okay.
yeah. The Daityas are coming
Demigods.
from
Right,
Diti.
yes, yeah. Oh.
The Adityas are coming from Aditi, like that.
So that means like he's trying to tell her that did she welcome the demons or no, right? In a way,
Could
like
be. Yeah, could be.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, could be. Why not?
Because,
Taken in
mm,
that way. That if somebody came, then did you properly welcome them or no? And she said, yeah, I welcomed everyone. I followed the principles, whatever is to be followed. Yeah. Let's stop here. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।